Hi guys, welcome to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome to another Premier Division review show. And this will be the last review show for a couple of weeks. We'll start off with the Northwest Derbies was key. And Finn Harps 1, Sligo Rovers 2. A game I really enjoyed, actually. I thought both teams played really well. Finn Harps probably be disappointed to end up losing the game. They played really well. Although Abbey played very well the first half, scored. Parks obviously scored for Sligo, and Banks scored for Sligo in the second half. But just end to end at times, a bit basketball-ish. There was a spell in the second half, especially there where Harps got on top, but I felt every time Sligo countered, it felt like they were going to score. Do you know what I mean? And Ed McGinty just near the end there, what a save from Sean Boyd. I literally thought it was in, it's unbelievable save from Sean Boyd to keep them in it and get them the win. And look, it's a great start for Sligo. They're top of the league in 31 points, and after winning at Shamrock Rovers, to back that up with a victory, knowing Finn Harps played well, bit of steel there too, isn't there?
Yeah, great win, really great win. It was a game we enjoyed. I actually watched it on the way to Richmond, and I was behind the goal. Obviously, that's my spot. Everyone that probably can see that from the Pats game the weekend. But
even out. Anyway, go on.
Well, I was sitting there. I had it on my phone. I was watching it right up until the Pats kick off because I just finished in time, basically.
Yeah.
I have to say, it was possibly the game of the year so far in terms of
up there.
How good it was and how enjoyable it was. It was just wave after wave. I was slightly disappointed, obviously, as a Pats man, that Finn Harps didn't score. But, I thought it was a really entertaining game to watch. Sligo were superb in terms of how they moved the ball and how they got from defence to attack in about 3 or 4 passes every time.
That's the big thing with them, I think. Yeah, they seem to do very quickly.
That transition to attack after winning the ball is something that is instilled into the players, and it takes time. It takes an awful lot of time, and you can see what does be done on the training ground coming into it now. And honestly, I'm delighted to see it. I love seeing stuff like that.
Well, in fairness, though, you know as well as I know that, when you look at them play now, you're kind of going, they remind you, and not just saying, but they do remind you of Pats from a few years ago. Liam Buckley's really putting his stamp on what he wants to do and what he has done before there now, if you know what I mean. It's happening what he wants to do. You can clearly see it,
Yeah, 100%. And the way he plays, what he does, I know it like the back of my hand, but it's so hard to defend against. I should say every team knows about it, knows exactly what they're going to do, but stopping them is another thing. My opinion would be, if you were, he loves getting the ball down the right-hand side, and he loves the left-sided winger cutting inside and getting on the end of crosses and stuff like that.
He plays the right-hand side guy as a byline winger, kind of, as he's saying. The left winger's kind of an inverted forward, more or less.
Yeah, and they've been really good. The third man running in from the middle, whether that be Buljohn, Morahan, Cawley. We've seen it all three of them this year, and how they move up the pitch. So it's very effective, but it takes time, and I love seeing it when it works. I love seeing it when it pays off. It's something that excites me as a League of Ireland man, because I take a lot of pride out of this league and how teams play and how good this league is. And I think anyone that has any doubts, or anyone that knows anyone that has any doubts about the quality in this league, needs to watch Sligo Rovers play and just see how good they are, because I'm looking forward to seeing how they get on in Europe now. And I seen
suited to it, actually.
What? Sorry?
I think they're suited to it in many ways. Obviously the quality of the opposition depends, but you know what I mean.
I think Liam with Pats has a lot of unfinished business with Europe, and the teams that we've probably lost against as Pats, some of them are questionable. The likes of the Zalgiris, Vilnius, teams like that, where we done really well away from home. At home, we kind of bottled it a little bit. So, I think we have a bit of unfinished business there from Liam Buckley, so he'll be looking to put that right. And as well, speaking of Europe, this Conference League or whatever you want to call it is like there's some money in that, and you know it's excellent, and long may it continue. Like, you know, we might have, you know, we could be in Europe. We might have teams in the group stages of it, and you'd really fancy our lads in that group stage to get out of it. And you know, this could be great for the League of Ireland, and you know, something that's exciting me, because I know hopefully if we can finish in the top 3, Pats might be there next year. And, you know, you might get a few holidays out and never mind one. But you know, I think this. I'm looking forward to seeing Sligo in Europe this year. How they're playing, the top of the table, but there's only 14 games gone. I think people need to relax a little bit.
Yeah.
I'd be saying the exact same thing if Pats were up there. I'd be saying the exact same thing if Rovers were up there. I think people need to relax. There's 14 games gone. Like, we've 36 games in the season. So, you know, an awful long way to go. You put in Europe, you put in the FAI Cup. You know, there's not many teams with a big squad. So, where everyone is now could change so quickly in terms of a couple of weeks. You know, I think personally, Europe is obviously going to suit Pats a little bit. So Pats might have a little bit of an upper hand on the likes of Bowles, on the likes of Dundalk, who are chasing that spot. And then obviously Sligo, who are at the top at the minute, with Rovers in Europe. So, you know, I think I can see it chopping and changing a few times over the next couple of months. But the way they're playing is something that is really good. And looking at Finn Harps, you know, the exact same thing. You know, you can't fault them. You really can't. I thought they were superb in the game. Look, the goals were a little bit questionable how they got up so quick. But you know, I put that down to Sligo brilliance. So don't put that down to Finn Harp's mistakes.
What do you think of the red card, by the way? It looked like he did catch him, but it's hard to tell. The thing is, if he does catch him, even if it's a small butt, it's violent conduct. That's the rule, and he's off. But it was very difficult to tell, actually, wasn't it?
I'll tell you, I'm not going to lie to you. I sat there for 10 minutes trying to play the rewind at the phone.
Yeah, same here.
And I kept rewinding about playing 20 minutes behind.
Yeah.
And then I'd fast forward and I'd miss it again. And I just gave up. But,
It's hard to tell, isn't it? It's hard to tell. You have to, I suppose you just have to trust them in this incident because it's hard to tell. Yeah. But as you said, like Finn Harps, in fairness, the fact that they'll be disappointed losing the game, considering how well Sligo were going, says it all about the way Finn Harps performed as well, if you get me. And that was some save by McGinty. That's an unreal save, by the way.
Yeah, what a save, you know. That's what good people do, you know. They win your points, they win your games, they you know what I mean, they turn games around for you. So, you know, it's excellent to see that. And look, long may it continue for Sligo, because I'm one of the biggest fans, and I think everyone that listens to this weekly knows that.
100%. I think Finn Harps as well, actually, they'd be just happy with their start overall, in my opinion. 18 points, 6 games, well clear, 9th and 10th. Moving on to United Park, finished Drogheda United 1, Derry City 2. 2 Will Patching free kicks and a Mark Doyle penalty. First free kick, he catches Adamusu out of it 100%. He must be about 40 yards out. And David, by the way, is a very good young goalkeeper, but I don't know where he was for this. He just seemed to be anywhere but on the pitch, if I'm honest with you. He just seemed to lose focus completely. But Derry's starting to play well, though, I have to say. Will Patchin's been their player of the season so far. I was listening to Kevin Doherty, did a little interview there, Drogheda, and he said the players are absolutely shattered. He says at this stage the break has come at a right time for them. He was saying how James Brown and Conor Kane even were saying they were tired, and he says that says it all. But look, they can be delighted with their start so far. Derry can be delighted in the last few weeks because, they still have a chance. As you say, they could be chopping and changing here. If Derry keep it up, they could make a break for challenging for Europe anyway. But what did you make of the game overall?
Yeah, it was a really highly competitive game. Both sides were right at it. And I know, listening to Kevin after the game, and I love what you said, saying how tired they were, and they really didn't show it in the game. I don't think they showed it. I thought they were unbelievable, and their energy levels in the game from both teams was excellent, considering they had only a game just on Monday or on Friday.
Get confused, yeah.
Now, when they played on the Monday and they played on the Friday, don't they?
Yeah, and they played on the Friday, basically.
Yeah. So, considering that was the third game, I think overall the whole league, I thought the standard was excellent from every game. I don't think there was a bad game this week. So I think it's a testament to the players. And, we say players, but we should be calling these athletes. If these were Premier League players, we'd be calling them athletes and saying 3 games in a week and they'd be mollycoddled out. But they're not. Our players just go on with it and they play. Half of these lads have jobs and everything. So, look,
very hard to recover properly in that situation as well, isn't it?
You know what I mean?
But they do it. They actually do it, which shows their commitment and desire. And yeah.
You look at these players and, half of them are up a bleeding scaffolding pole from 9 to 5 and then they're going out and playing Shamrock Rovers away or something, So I think it's testament.
But that's actually a side note. That's one of the great things about the league, though, isn't it, in many ways as well?
Yeah, look, it's brilliant. And, I have a lot of time for anybody that loves our league or plays in our league because, you're not in it for the money. You're never going to be in it for the money. Look, maybe Dundalk and Rovers and stuff like that. Some players.
Yeah, occasionally, but 90% of the time.
90% of the players at Dundalk and Rovers and stuff like that are there for, the love as well, like the likes of Chris Shields and all these big players. So I think it's a testament to them. I know we got a bit sidetracked there. I nearly forgot what game we're talking about.
It's a good sidetrack,
though. Yeah. No, I thought...
it all relates.
Yeah, I thought Drogheda were superb in the game. I really did. Look, first goal, yeah, fair enough. We get that. He doesn't need me to tell him that.
Keane, Derry've made a lot of improvements under Rory Higgins. How do you see them going forward now? They're probably not happy with the break as such.
No, definitely not. They're really up there and, they're flying. A great point against Pats. They'd probably be disappointed with that. And then, you back it up with a superb win. Absolutely. What a win. Drogheda is possibly the most feared team to come up against in the division at this minute in time. Probably them and Sligo. I think you'd fancy your chances off anyone else. But, down in Sligo, you kind of worry about Drogheda and Sligo. But Derry just took the game to them. They didn't sit back. I think they done exactly what Drogheda does to every team. And I think it really does. It stops an awful lot of possession from Drogheda and it makes the game, people probably say it makes it a little bit scrappy. Yeah, it does. But that's down to Derry. And I thought Patchen, he was everywhere in the game. Absolutely everywhere.
Yeah, he's an unreal player. He really is. We'll move on, Keaton. St. Patrick's of the Leg nailed Dundalk too. And obviously, we're not going to be very happy with this defeat, are we? Because 2 weeks, I suppose, and they've to try and win the next time out against Longford. Dundalk, though, played an interesting game here, Keane. I did think their work rate was an awful lot better. I know I've given them criticism, but I did think their work rate was an awful lot better in this game than it has been in recent weeks. They defended extremely compact. I thought in the first half, they kind of let Pats have it out wide, Keane, and kind of said, we'll let you cross it into the box. But Pats, I suppose, didn't really have a focal point, Keane. I know Matty Smith is a good player, but I don't consider him personally enough fronting his own type striker, particularly in a game like that when Dundalk are defending deep and they're not pressing. So they're thinking King and Smith can get in behind the defence, but obviously they put a stop to that. The goals Pats give away, they'll be disappointed. I think they've conceded 10 goals in the last 5 games, which is a bit disappointing considering the start to the season. I suppose Pats overall, Keane, obviously they had a very good start. You could argue maybe they overachieved a little bit at the start, but they'll be disappointed with the last few weeks. I do know Stephen O'Donnell was very disappointed in this one. He seemed more disappointed with this game than any other game, didn't he, in fairness? But look, Dundalk would be delighted to get the 3 points, and they've Waterford and Longford up next. So if they could get 6 there, they're back in it. How would you make of it anyway? You were obviously there, so.
Yeah, it was a strange game. I'm being honest. I think we've seen Pats play an awful lot worse this season and win. I was so impressed with Pats. I mean that. I don't mean that to sound stupid or anything, but I think
what it was, Keane, I'll just do it quickly. What it was is that they're good play until they got to the box. But I think Steve O'Donnell, didn't he say, in both boxes, Pats are poor. But the build-up playing, that was very good, which probably made it a bit more frustrating, to be honest. But I see your point, yeah.
Honestly, I thought Pats were excellent. I think anyone that watches the game, try and tell me Pats weren't excellent. And, you'll probably be laughed at. Because the way they played, they were excellent. The build-up, and they really took the game to Dundalk. We had a chance really early on that possibly could have been 1-0. Only after a couple of minutes, Mountney cut in, yeah. So, it was Pats, I thought, played on the front foot, took the game to Dundalk, rightly so. I think we have the players to do that. I was very impressed with Dundalk, with the flat back four and, the midfield. They were just units. There was no gaps in behind. There was, there was no gaps in behind. There was nothing to Pats to get at. And the way they were so effective on the counter is something that obviously has been instilled into them with Jim and stuff like that. And
I think as well it's a bit of a reaction to the Bowls game, which I was a little bit concerned about as well, to be honest. Because that was a disgrace of a performance of the Bowls, let's be honest,
Yeah, look, the way they played, I thought Andy Boyle, Chris Shields, they were everywhere. Like, if you look at the chances Pats had, it wasn't through Pat's bad finishing. Like, you look at that Andy Boyle tackle, right as the ball was going in, Chris Forrester just had to tap it. Andy Boyle.
Oh, yeah.
Then you're looking at the header, Paddy Barrett's header, Macmillan just gets it off the line. It was last ditch.
Yeah, Sam Ball missed the header in the first half as well. It's hard to know what happened. I think it might hit a defender.
But you're looking at the game. We'd be disappointed with how we conceded that goal, Sam Bone. Sam, it wasn't his best night. There's no question about it. I think everyone knows that. He doesn't need me to tell him that. I had a good shot. Sam, he's obviously devastated with the way the game went for him. I don't think he done himself justice, but he's been superb in a patch shoot. He gives 100%. I think he was nearly trying too hard at times in the game.
Sometimes when a player scores an OG, actually, that header he had was after the OG. I reckon if he didn't score the OG, as stupid as it sounds, he might have scored that because he would have been less flustered, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, look, I thought he was. Look, he knows he wasn't great in the game, really. He launched into a tackle and got himself the yellow as well.
Yeah, that was a bit cheap, wasn't it?
But, I thought Pats were good in the game. Dundalk were just devastating on the counter. You give Dundalk a 1-goal lead, and I still thought Pats were going to win it. Dundalk went 2-0 up just after 5 minutes after the break. The Pats played excellently, starting coming out. And I'm being honest, I still thought Pats were going to get something out of it, if not win it. I'll really be honest. That's how good you are, and that's how confident I am at this team. They were really that good. And
do you think though they need a tweet? I know Coughlin was probably rested, but would you like to see, like I personally, would you like to see Coughlin through the middle a little bit more often than he is? Because he does an awful lot of work, doesn't he? Like off the ball, but sometimes that can be tired. You know what I mean?
I really don't know. I don't know Coughlin at the minute. I love him coming in off the wings. I love him playing without a position because he's popping up everywhere.
But would that be more ideal? Maybe wish a central striker, if you get me.
But then who do you take out? So that's the question. I think Coughlin is doing that job, and in fairness to him, he's doing it really well. I thought the game against Bowls, he was superb. First half, he had him through the middle. He was shocking through the middle. And then, you bring him off the left, he gives us another dimension, and the way he was cutting in, then you found him out on the right, then you see him getting the ball centre midfield. I think he gives you that, and he's very hard to mark. So what he gives us from that, I'm happy. I'm happy with his contribution to the team. We did look better when he came on through the middle. But you're going to look better when you're 2-0 down and you're pushing for the goal. So, you're going to look like you're going to get the ball a lot more often than you would in a nil-all game. So, that's the only reason for that. I thought Naheem Lambert he must be made of steel or something. Like, honestly, he absolutely crucified a baby. And then, like, who was the other fella? The little fullback who had an excellent game, by the way.
Oh, the young guy, Al. I can never pronounce his name. Adjikan. Yeah.
The left full. He was superb for them.
Yeah, he's rated highly, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I was very, very impressed with him. But like I thought Naheem absolutely floored the two of them, and Naheem just got straight back up. Now I was right in front of the baby one, and my God, you could hear the bang, and it was. You probably see me on the blade camera. I had my hand on my head. It was a worrying one, and you probably see me throwing the ball at a baby a few times, trying to get him to hurry up. But it's hard. I'm not that worried. Pat's got absolutely outplayed. I'd say fair enough. But if you have most of the play, it's only a matter of time before the ball goes into the net, in my opinion.
What do you think, though? Obviously, results in the last few weeks have been more down than up for them. What do you think? Like, do you think it's a bit of fatigue? Do you think it's a little bit just they were too good at the start of the season? Where would you put your finger on it before we move on quickly?
I wouldn't look at excuses of fatigue or anything, because every other team is the exact same.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I'm not looking for excuses like that. Sometimes I thought in games we probably went too defensive in terms of like showing the others too much respect. Like, I think we went 1-0 up against Bowes. Now, we went on to win the game in the Daily Mount, but we scored at about 60 minutes, and then 5 minutes later you're taking off Coughlin and bringing on Paddy Barrett.
It's risky, isn't it?
Then we got caught out obviously against Dundalk, doing the exact same thing the following week. And then we got a great late goal in Sligo and stuff like that, brilliant. And then we've got an awful lot of late goals. I'm not going to complain with that. I absolutely love it. It's great. Like, it really is. And I think the confidence is in the team is so high. Like, I'm being honest with you. The ref held up the board for 5 minutes, and I really thought Pats were going to get a draw out of this Dundalk game. There's so much confidence in the group, but you feel like every time we have a corner,
very dangerous to set pieces, 100%. Yeah,
you feel like we're going to get ahead in something. Every time the ball goes forward, you look at Mountain, you look at Smith, you look at Billy King and Coughlin, Benson, Forrester, you name them all. You feel like they're going to get on the end of something, or we're going to score here, and that hasn't been there for years. It really hasn't, and it's something that really excites me. I absolutely love going to Richmond at the worst of times, but this year has just been something different, and I think Stevie has kept to his word. He always said he wants a team that the fans can be proud of.
Yeah.
And, I don't think there's any, I can't, right this minute in time, there can't be any Pats fan putting their hand up saying they're not proud of that team.
Oh, no, they can't. That's the thing with them. Like, and I mentioned many times that the work rate and the desire cannot be questioned in that team, which is your starting points. I've said before. Yeah. No matter what we say about maybe something might happen in a game, but that's not in question, and that has been in question over the last few years.
Yeah, 100%. I'm delighted to be where I am in the league. Keep her up with a bit of luck. If we can keep her up, get ourselves in Europe, we'll take a trip any day. But, Europe is the goal. And, over that was always going to be a bonus. I said that if you go back, I would say 5 weeks when Pats were, I think, top of the table or whatever. Just listen to this show 5 weeks ago, and they were saying the exact same thing. Well, we played Rovers that time, and if we won, we went top. And I says, even if we beat Shamrock Rovers, we're fighting for Europe. This is 3 points towards Europe.
Yeah, 100%.
Get a run the cup. I'll take that all day.
I won't be greedy. I'll take the FAI Cup. I'd love to win that. Bohemians 3, Waterford 0 at Daily Mount Park. And, I looked at Waterford last week and I thought there were improvements, but I don't know, Keane. I thought they went back to type a little bit in this one. Bowes, I thought, won this handy. I really do. I mean, Devoy scored a goal. Tierney. Andy Lyons was fantastic, by the way. What a performance for Andy Lyons. We all know what a good player he is, but we saw how good he really was in this particular game. From Waterford's point of view, the sending off, by the way, that was a bad challenge from Isaac. That was a bad challenge. Anyone who says that's a yellow, I mean, good night, lads. I'm turning it off now. But look, that's coming into their inexperience, Waterford. They went 1 down, then they quickly went 2 down. Frustration, a bad red card. He's a lot of work to do, Mark Bircham, hasn't he, really, when you look at it?
massive amount of work. They really thought they were getting there after the Derry performance, but this break now is coming another right time for them. Let's get themselves back let's start getting points on the board because they're in the shits. Look, there was nothing really in the game until Bow scored the first goal, and obviously the red card, and then they got the second goal, and 2 goals back to back, and the game over. But there was nothing in the game before that. I thought both teams were. I really thought this was going to peter out for a draw.
I think the issue with Waterford is, though, as soon as they got one down, they collapsed. The inexperience comes into play. Bowles played fluently, didn't they, then as well?
Bowles were superb, really, Ernie is just, he's a joy to watch. Absolute joy to watch. I love, and I mean this deep down, I love seeing the players that Bowles bring every year to this league. I look at the 19s, I look at the first team, I look at the names of the young lads on the side, and it excites me. It really does. The players that they have, Tierney coming in.
The guys who scored, the Voy and Lyons, the three, Tierney.
Yeah. And the Voy is just, I'm not going to speak about him every week. I'm really not, because I'm just repeating myself. I think anyone knows his quality. Lyons again, he's been out of the side with Feely. So, I think he came in there with a statement of intent.
I tell you another thing, Feely could keep his place as centre back as well, because he could play with Cornwall easily there, couldn't he?
Yeah, and he has that bit of pace about him as well. So that's where Feely originally was.
Yeah.
Feely was at Pats as Feely came to Pats as a left winger.
Yeah, he did actually. Hard to believe.
Then he started playing centre half. And Liam was always blooding centre halves into the side. And he started blooding Feely when Sean Hoare broke in and was on number 1 centre half after blooding Sean Hoare in. So, he blooded Sean Hoare in, then he brought in Rory. I mean it, Rory was unbelievable. In 2016, Rory was untouchable. He was that young player. He was so good. I mean that he was so good. Then 2017 happened, and Pats was possibly in the shits a little bit, and he lost all confidence. He was playing with Gavin Pearce as centre half, and Lee Desmond wasn't even in the side. That's how bad the season was at the time. So he lost every bit of confidence he had. He was second guessing every header, every pass, and he was a liability in Pats. And I think he'd know that. I don't think I'm being cruel to him by any means. But that's where management comes into it. And you need to speak about your manager. But Liam kept playing him. And kept playing him and kept playing him and kept playing him. And then Jordy Balt came in, and he had a great season with league. And then Rory obviously went on and moved to Waterford, who actually went on to be unbelievable at right wing back for him. He started to grow his confidence again. I love seeing players do that. I love seeing them go into a club and really
finding themselves again.
And I think what we're seeing at Bowles now, Rory as centre half, long may it continue. I think he's really, really a genuinely mean this hand on heart. What a man. I don't think you're going to meet a nicer fella. So to see him doing really well is good for me, because I love seeing that. I take pride in that. And now Bowles are, I'm not going to say Bowles are back by any stretch.
They're clawing their way back into it, aren't they? It's fair to say. And they do play some wonderful football at times, let's be honest.
And look, it's brilliant to see. It really is. And I love it. They excite me. They have excited me for the last 5 years, I would say. Just the way they play, how exciting they are, and what they bring to the league. They're really, people will say they stepped back a little bit this year. They probably should be that Sligo Rovers now at this minute in time. So a little bit of disappointment there, possibly from the fans. They've been brilliant from any time I've seen them play. Like, they bust games, they've just attacked them. free flown. I think both were a signing.
I always thought it was if they could get their defensive structure right, they'd be flying. And there's signs of that happening now. As you say, Burt was signing, Mallon came on, which is going to be a big plus now going forward for them as well, to have that option of Mallon, Burt, or whoever, like Coote, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so, it's exciting times for Bowes again, I think. They just need to sign these top players down and, hold on to them. Get that signing done for next year now. Get your signings in, because
big time.
July, I'm not going to say League of Ireland clubs, but come July, English clubs could be looking at the likes of Dawson and
Andy Lyons.
Yeah, you're going to get these players for nothing.
Mm.
You're going to get them for what? God knows what it is. Probably, considering they're probably out of contract the end of the year, you're probably going to get them for 20 grand.
I think their only issue with Andy Lyons is now they might get a fee out of him or whatever, but pretty much signed on with the promise that he'd be going the following season. I think that's pretty clear there. But that's going to happen as well. You can't do much, but if they can keep the rest of them, etc., and Rory Feely can go right back or whatever, and they get someone else in, maybe a James Brown, who knows?
Yeah, definitely. Like, honestly, I thought they were, James Brown, players in this league that are just ready to fill that void. I'd take James Brown tomorrow at Pats. Honestly, I'll break the bank for him in July. I really would. If I had one player on my wish list, it's James Brown. I mean that.
In the league, that's gettable as such, yeah.
No, yeah. If I had anyone,
regardless, yeah. Well, when I say gettable as such, I'm just sure Drogheda would have a thing or two to say about that.
Honestly, if I could pinpoint one player, if I was asked tomorrow, if I was in charge of a club in England to get me one player that's going to affect my team, the only player I would take at this minute in time is James Brown.
Yeah, I think so. He's the right profile as well, right age and everything. We'll move on to Longford and Shamrock Rovers, and I feel like we've talked about this game about 100 times before this season. Longford 0, Shamrock Rovers 1. Rory Gaffney, not only, it's not just that they're scoring right in the last minute. Not only people say the last minute, but there's really 5 or 6 minutes to go. They're literally scoring in the 95th minute or whatever. I know there was a couple of minutes actually added on as well, which I don't know where to get that from. But anyway, Gaffney scored a goal. It was a lovely cross. I think it might have been Manger. I'm not too sure. And they made a mess of it, whoever got in there, and it fell to Gaffney and he scored. But funnily enough, I said, nah, they're not scoring a late goal again. Longford were actually putting the pressure on in injury time and looked more likely. But look, Longford will be very disappointed again. They're ninth in the league, only a point ahead of Waterford. I do think they'll edge Waterford maybe because I think there's a bit more guts and a bit more experience and things like that, and a togetherness actually in the group that maybe there is at Waterford. But look, they've given Shamrock Rovers a game twice and they've come out to lose it end twice. Shamrock Rovers, you said earlier how Sligo Rovers, all the credit they're getting, but Shamrock Rovers haven't really played and they're a point behind. They've had a bad run, but they're still a point behind Sligo Rovers there.
Yeah, I watched this game live. I expected Bowles to absolutely hammer Waterford, so I said this would be the game to watch. So I watched this game live. I thought it was going to peter out to a 0-0. I was delighted with that personally. Longford were solid. Longford were comfortable in defence. Look, Rovers had a few great chances with Graham Polk, and there's an awful lot of chances they had that they squandered. But
I know, but they have to wait till injury time to get the goal. You see, that's the point.
Honestly,
they don't want to score early.
No, you can't blame them. I feel for Longford. That's twice they've done that to them now. It's twice they've done the Pats as well. But it's just that.
Done it to nearly everyone, I think, Ian.
That last minute goal, and I'm just looking at the back of my head, the ball coming in, the mess up. It drove you. It really, I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't. I was sick as a dog. But look, credit to them. Absolutely credit to them. And I genuinely mean that.
It's like Manchester United under Alex Ferguson. It really is. I mean, they're doing nothing yet, but
they don't know when they're beaten. And that's a skill. That's a skill in itself. And I think there's a lot of teams like that. But we always just have that bit of quality to back it up. They'll be disappointed that they're not top of the table. They'll be disappointed going into Europe that they're a point. I know they're Europe's a few weeks away or next month or 2 months away. But what I'm saying is they're going to be disappointed that they're only a point behind Sligo, that they're not 5 or 6 ahead. Because that's the bar they've set. And,
if they drew this, like, just say they drew it for a second. I know they didn't, but, like, that would have been 4 games without a win, like, a couple of defeats, a couple of draws. Like, they really had to win this in many ways, didn't they?
For me, this was the biggest one. This shows the bottom.
Yeah.
And I think, they came out of it. Look, people say it's a bit of luck. We get that. We understand that.
Can't get that lucky that often. It's self-belief is a big thing there, isn't it, Keane?
Yeah, self-belief, definitely. But it is a bit of luck in the last year and stuff like that. But, I think they've earned that. And, like, I don't mean to sound bad, but I think they've possibly not got the luck for the last 7-8 years at least. And I think, they're starting to get it now. And, let's take it while it comes, because when that luck goes, you're in trouble. But I really
also playing, like, I don't know, people will, look at this and say, when I say this, they have a few injuries as well. A lot of people say, they have a great squad and that, but they still have a few injuries. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, any team is going to struggle a little bit with a few injuries, aren't they? No matter how good they are.
Like I said, they don't have a big squad.
No, it's not the biggest now.
But they have a squad full of quality. Green doesn't play. Gaffney plays. Gaffney doesn't play. Dean Williams plays.
They're missing Ferrugia and Sean Kavanagh, but Scales can do a good job at left wing back.
Yeah, they have some excellent players, and it's a credit to what Stephen is building there. Really, I really can't commend him enough for what he's doing. What he's built. It's been a work in progress. They're reaping the rewards now. They'll be, like I says, they'll be bitterly disappointed that they're going into the break here at least 3 points, 4 points clear. In my opinion, I think that's probably the bar that they set, and that's where they expect to be. And I think, that's not me being critical. I'm really not. I'm saying, look, they've been excellent, but they'll be disappointed where they are in the league. They'll need to improve now. They've Europe coming up, and if Rovers get through one round in this Europe, they're playing the group stages of this Mickey Mouse Europe. So,
it's a small squad, as we say, as well. It's not the biggest squad.
Yeah, so coming into this,
I know they're adding Richie Towell, but still,
that's one player, and it's an awful lot of football to be coming into it now with the FAI Cup. Still having so many games in the league, they're going to be playing for me Thursday, Sunday, possibly for the rest of the season, in my opinion.
That's probably tough.
When Europe does come, and they've league games, they have FAI Cup games. You expect them to be in the FAI Cup right till at least the semi-final. So it's going to be a long season. So, like I said, they want to get the points on the board, and they want to get themselves up there and give themselves a little bit of a cushion to move around. But I don't think Sligo will let them, and I hope not.
Speaking of long seasons, I suppose it's starting to get a bit long in that sense for Longford, though, isn't it, Keane? I mean, look, every week we say they battle well, they've done well in games, and they have done. But look, they're finishing 9th or 10th. Let's be honest now at this stage, I think, aren't they? They'll be hoping for 9th, obviously, but I really can't, in any world, see Longford or Waterford finish 8th.
Not Waterford, but I could see Longford doing it. I could see them going up to Ballybuffet, for example, and winning them 1-0. And then I could see them going to playing Derry at home and beating them. That type of team. There's your 6 points. All of a sudden, the gap is gone. So
it's hard to see them don't get a consistent run. I don't mean win 6 games in a row, but you know what I mean.
No, but you don't have to. They're only a handful of points off. All you have to do is win 2 games on the bounce, and draw one maybe, and all of a sudden that gap is gone, and you find yourself back in the net. So I'm not worried for Longford. I'm really not. I think they've
all they have to do, Keane, all they have to do is beat Pats now in 2 weeks. They could beat Pats in 2 weeks, but I mean, do you think the break actually has come at the right time for them, so they can reassess a little bit?
I don't know.
I don't either.
I don't think. I don't think they need a break. I think they're not getting hockeyed. They're really not. And they're in the games. They just need to. I think if they got one game that went against the run of play and they scored and won the game,
almost a fluky kind of a job as such.
It would really help them in terms of getting themselves out of that and giving them the belief, because
exactly.
Some big characters in that squad.
Could you imagine they scored in the last minute against Shamrock Rovers? What that would have done with them? Not only scoring the last minute, but to do it against Shamrock Rovers. And just to come back to the game a little bit as well, they did put pressure on there in injury time. There was a couple of minutes there where they had a bit of pressure on a corner, and there was a few scary moments for Shamrock Rovers in that sense.
Yeah, you have the likes of O'Driscoll and stuff like that. He's built like a twin tower. So, he's coming into the box and, big men in there to get your head and things. So they're definitely going to be a threat. They're definitely going to give Pats a right goal. I wouldn't be surprised to see them getting that now. So, they're really competitive. So I'm going to say they're going to finish 9th, if not 8th. I think they will close that gap. But I don't mean close it to an extent where it's level on points or something. I'd say they'll always be a game away from actually getting out of it. So it's keeping it in and around the 2-3 point mark. But it can be easily done. Like I said, they win one game, they beat Pats next week and draw the following week. There's 4 points. Team might lose. You're getting yourself up there then. So that's what I'm saying. They'll pick up points, but they'll pick up points especially on these Friday, Monday type of games. And, you can really close the gap within a matter of 4 days. And then the table looks totally different. You look 3 games ago, which has only been a week, look how different the table is to now. So I wouldn't be dead set on them staying where they are, because they're offering an awful lot more than Waterford at the minute.
I was going to say that. They're only a point ahead of Waterford, I think. It's another point, yeah. But they probably feel they should have another few points in the bag, whereas Waterford, you wouldn't feel the same way. Do you get me?
No, I think they should have an extra. Yeah. If I was looking, I would say possibly another 4 points.
I was going to say about 5, yeah, roughly, yeah. Which makes a huge difference to them.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, we'll leave it there. Please subscribe, hit your bell notification button. And that's it for another few weeks, Keane, in regards to the review and preview shows. But we'll be back with other stuff, guys. So, comment below as well. See you later, Keane.